What's up, family? Thank you so much for tuning in to Free World TV. So it looks like our boy Deontay Kyle is under fire again for something else that he said, and he has a lot of religious people in an uproar. They're going nuts. These religious people are sort of reminds me of MAGA, Trump supporters. Jesus. But basically, Deontay Kyle had said, I'm going to actually show y'all the clip of what he said, and then I'm going to tell y'all what I think about it, okay? I'm going to tell y'all what I think about it. This is what he said.
Jesus is standing in the way of the power of your gratitude really being fulfilled, right?
Okay. I do want to put out there that he didn't mean any disrespect on anybody's religion, and neither do I, because I definitely agree. Jesus is in the way. You go to the south end of your city, go to the south side and tell me how many vacant ass churches is put up, or how many churches compared to grocery stores. Jesus ain't in the fucking way. I have a question. And this is about in the book of Genesis. I have a question that I need religious people to answer. Please answer. Why did God not need a woman to create Adam, but Jesus, our Lord and Savior, he needed a woman to bring Jesus into the world? Why is that? I need an answer. I need an answer. And don't tell me go read the Bible. It's easy to say that. That's what a lot of religious people say. You can say, "Hey, I've been reading the Bible and things like that," and they'll say some shit like, "You need to read it again." Just like Jonathan Majors said to NLE Chopper. NLE Chopper stood his motherfucking ground on that podcast. And I feel as if Majors, he had something against him, because the world already knows that NLE Chopper has the hugest crush on Jonathan Majors' woman, Megan Good. And I didn't create this video about that, but if y'all ain't see, NLE Chopper, he is a very spiritual young man, and a lot of us understand where he was coming from. A lot of people who are religious, they can't think for themselves. This is what I can't stand about religious people. Y'all are judgmental. Y'all always try to scare people into believing in that stupid ass religion. And I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but I know I'm gonna lose people after this. But I don't need y'all around anyway. All you judgmental people, skedaddle. Skedaddle. This is what I can't stand about religious people. That's what they do. They try to scare you into believing it. And then I can't be a part of a religion. Being a part of religion is giving up who you truly are. You have to change who you are. You have to put yourself in a box to be a part of a religion. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Most people, like, I'm actually finna show y'all this clip. It's this clip that I'm talking about with the Jonathan Majors.
If we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother. You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my father? And that goes back to honoring your parents.
I just gotta say something.
Good.
Have you read the Bible?
I read the Bible. I listen to the Bible. I receive from source straight.
I would say read it again.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question.
This part right here where he said, "You need to read it again." Of course. You really can't, you don't have a comeback to something like that. I bet you he ain't never read the whole fucking Bible. This is the thing. Let me tell y'all something. Cause I had a friend back in the day. It was this guy, right? And we used to kind of go back and forth over our beliefs and stuff like that. He had a dad who was a pastor. So I would tell him, like, you didn't even choose your religion. Most religious people, they didn't choose their religion. It was chosen for them. It was already picked for them before they was even born. It was picked for them before they was even thought of. Okay? So yeah, I was having this little debate with this guy, right? And he was basically, I told him, you didn't choose your own religion. And he's like, yes, I did. If I want to leave this religion, go to it, I can. Yeah, of course you can do that, but you didn't choose that religion. You agreed to that religion. And he would argue me up and down saying I did choose my own religion. And I said, okay, so you mean to tell me if your dad brought you up as a Jehovah's Witness, you would still be a Christian today? Yeah, he said yeah. And I knew he was like, I'm like, see, you really can't, like, religious people, they're like MAGA. They're like MAGA. And I'm gonna show you, I'm actually gonna show y'all this MAGA clip of this is how MAGA is. Okay, this is how diabolical some religious people are. I'm not talking about all y'all, so please calm down. But this is how diabolical and crazy they are. Listen to this.
So you said that you've never seen Trump do or say anything demeaning towards women. Here's Trump saying that he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years.
Oh my God.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
That is not Donald Trump.
That is Donald Trump.
That is not Donald Trump.
Okay, I'm going to play it again. This is
That is not Donald Trump.
I'm going to play it again. This is
Listen real closely.
okay.
All right, listen.
Thursday night. You going up the escalator?
That is a New York. Donald Trump is a different kind of. His father was an immigrant. His voice sounds different than New York like that.
Okay, first of all, Fred Trump wasn't an immigrant. His mother was. Second of all, that clip was Donald Trump. This was from a 1992 CBS interview. I don't understand how you could say that this isn't Donald Trump when on screen it says 1992 video of Trump.
Where? Let's see the video.
Okay, let's play it again. I don't.
They don't want to believe
Donald
it.
Trump. This is
These
Donald
type of people do not want to think for themselves.
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
But that equivalent is not Donald Trump.
Okay, that's not Donald Trump, of course, ladies and gentlemen. I've a
Do you mind if I ask you who you voted for in the last election?
Trump.
Trump. I'm gonna guess you voted for Trump.
It says Donald Trump.
Do you mind if I just ask you a few questions about things that Biden has done in his administration, and you can kind of give me your opinion on that? What did you think when Joe Biden suggested that COVID could be cured by shining a bright light inside the body?
It is very sad that Joe Biden is clearly a dementia patient.
Supposedly hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
What do you think about Joe Biden saying that getting through the 80s without getting HIV was his own personal Vietnam?
Again, it's very sad, his mental capacity, and that is a very uneducated statement.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. These are not, I got my notes mixed up. Can I ask you this question? Can we start over and me ask you what, okay. What did you think when Donald Trump suggested that COVID could be cured by shining a bright light into the body?
It depends what that technology is. That's a broad spectrum because, you have MRI machines and CT machines and infrared and different things.
Do y'all see how she came up with every excuse to fit Donald Trump's narrative because she liked Donald Trump? This is how fan people are. Y'all, this is crazy. This is hilarious. I'm gonna play it all the way through.
Donald Trump saying that getting through the 80s without getting HIV was his own personal Vietnam. Dementia patient?
No, I don't believe that.
There are accusations that Joe Biden cheated on his wife with a porn star after his son was born. And there's actually a paper trail showing he paid the sex worker $130,000 to keep quiet about it.
Well, who did that? Joe
Biden.
And he was making, I think, less than $100,000 a year at that time
That's right.
as a congressman, a senator. And how does he do that?
You tell me. Would you
You're
vote
a
for
reporter.
someone that...
Of course not.
Okay. So Trump did do that
Trump had a fling with Stormy Daniels.
and paid her $130,000.
Hush money, yes.
And you're voting for him.
I am. My father had affairs too, and I still respect him.
How do you feel about Joe Biden using his bone spurs to dodge the Vietnam draft?
Joe Biden has a problem. He isn't an American. He isn't a patriot.
I'm sorry. I asked you. I said Biden and I meant Trump. So those were things that.
Oh, Trump?
Trump. Yes. Can I ask you the question again with
Yes,
the right
you may.
name? I'm so sorry. How do you feel about Donald Trump using his bone spurs to dodge the Vietnam draft?
My brother-in-law had flat feet. So I'm sure you cannot go into a military
is
zone,
like-
a Vietnam zone, or any of the other zones with bad feet.
Sure.
You just can't do the job.
I agree.
And it actually impacts the other soldiers, puts them in danger.
Yeah.
I'm
no.
telling you, these people are filled with Trump juice. They are moved by the Trump juice. This is how religious people are. You can tell them something that, you know, would spark them to think critically. Anything that'll cause you to think critically goes against religion. Religion wants to control how you think. Religion wants to control you. Okay? They don't want you, religion don't want you to think critically, because you think critically, you think for yourself. They don't want you to think for yourself, because thinking for yourself causes you to become more empowered, self-empowered. They don't want that. But geez, this here is hilarious. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Free World TV. And as I always say, through every struggle statement is made, it's your girl Free. And I'm out.